my Deuterinos, the name is Cruggles, and we're back with another episode of, Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. I hope I'm pronouncing that word right. So, last time, this was like the last choice. Last time I chose Escape the Gallery. I'm going to choose Remain Silent, and we're gonna see if I get a game over. Yeah, I forgot if I save it doesn't do anything, so if we're gonna see if I get a game over or I get to or what. You meet the red-haired woman's gaze. She's looking at you expectantly. You sink into despair. You are dead. She confirmed as much, and now you're expected to become a slave? Your life is over. That's all there is to it. Whatever this nightmare is, it's time for it to end. Maybe it's all just a bad dream, waiting for you to wake up. The blade slashes through your neck in a single clean cut. Well, there is no stirring from this uneasy sleep. Just an endless void of nothingness. An endless void of nothingness. An endless void of nothingness. Damn. Alright, well, I guess I'm starting over again. So, here we go. Whoops. Cruggles. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. Alright, we're at the part where I have to, these two just get me killed, so we're just gonna ask for mercy. Again, made the same choices. You make your choice. I'm not going down like this, damn it. Spare me! Prince, if I may ask you to stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer. Kadir looks at the prince, awaiting her response. The sword is still hanging above you, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley? Yes, if I may. At first, the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood in the room. The bored elite suddenly look at you with aroused interest. Some of them dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed. I said bloodshed? What? It's not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. Well, let's hear it. Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes on her now, but Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of the distraction. My prince, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper context should be observed in addition to the letter of our laws. This fledgling is a burden, but with proper guidance, they could become an asset to our domain. Am I to understand you are volunteering to take this sireless child under your protection? Yes, I happen to think they might hold a potential that would be unfortunate to waste. I do expect their full cooperation, of course. Whispers can be heard again, an incredulous voice or two. A hushed, just behead the fucker. Some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Damn, just behead the fucker, wow! Silence. I ask all of you to make a note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but another will have to be enforced even more firmly in its stead. Until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's a responsibility you wish to the words brain cannot speak, you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this fledgling and add a valuable ally to our sect in a time of need, yes, but I would like to receive the right of destruction over them, if it pleases you. I don't want to speak up and fuck myself over. I don't want to come off as too needy, so I think I am going to remain silent. Its clear tensions are high. It feels surreal to listen to strangers discussing your death, or second death apparently, and keeping silent. You decide it's for the best to let Sophie handle this alone and not interject. You have no idea how to handle this eyes wide shut crowd. I actually don't get that reference. If someone could tell me, please. The prince looks at you as if weighing your worth. She takes another good measure of the room before she speaks again. I shall grant what you ask. Let it be known, Sophie Langley of the clan of the Rose will become this fledgling's patron. They shall be considered like sire and child. Okay. Clan of the Rose, I don't know what that means, but okay. Miss Langley will take full responsibility for them, and I grant her the right of destruction if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of our most important traditions on this occasion, I expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Substantially so. I hope you find this verdict satisfactory, Miss Langley. Of course, Prince. Thank you. Very well. She turns to you. What is your name, child? Oh, now you're... I don't want to be, rude. Cruggles, Prince. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Cruggles. And, oh, there's a dictionary feature that kind of, like, is good for, I guess, explaining. Major sect of vampires devoted primarily to maintaining the masquerade through influence and manipulation of mortal society. That's basically what it is, yeah. There's a lot of, like, complexity to it and stuff that we'll probably end up seeing throughout the story. Now this evening proved to be even more eventful than I anticipated. But with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. I had already read it. A newly created vampire, still okay. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Kadir, a moment of your time before I let you return to your duties. Of course, Prince. He shoots you a side glance that doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be watched. You will be judged. And if need be, you will be punished. The two of them leave the gallery. Well, Cruggles, I think we've both managed to significantly improve each other's evenings. But let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? I think we should have a toast to a new fruitful partnership. She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierges who have now reappeared in the showroom to refill the guests' glasses. The conventionally handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. He pours it into two tall glasses. You can barely wait until he hands you the drink. Your attention is fully on it. The fact that it's blood, you are certain of it, doesn't faze you this time. While Sophie sips her drink, you realize this thirst, no, this hunger, can only be satiated by drinking the whole glass in almost a single gulp. As liquid coats your throat, blissful relief takes hold. A posh woman passing by rolls her eyes at your lack of etiquette, but Sophie pays it no mind. Kadir has been starving you, hasn't he? Let's see if I can do something about that. She motions again. The man returns and gives you a refill. This time you find yourself having more control. You take a sip. Savor it. It's smoky and warm, making you think of a cozy cabin in the woods. It does strike you as a strange image for your mind to jump to when drinking human blood, but it is what it is. You've never tasted anything like it. Do you like it? I think NYC caterers have very bourgeois ideas about what good blood should taste like. Apologies, you have so many questions. While we're on the topic, perhaps we should start with those related to sustenance. I do want to know where they get the blood, because it's kind of weird that you have waiters serving blood. Where do you get it from? That can be a bit of a touchy topic. Let's say that most of the blood available at the events like this is crowdfunded. Did I get that right? It's hard to keep track of modern language. At any rate, what I mean is that there is a plethora of vessels on tap. As for where to get blood when you're not at Elysium, tomorrow I shall take you hunting and we will explore this topic further. What you need to know right now is that no matter how much you drink, you will always be tempted to have more, unless you consume someone holy to the last drop. But even that doesn't last. Best start by just taking a single sip from a vessel. Be prudent. Hot, fresh blood is more satiating than most anything that can be served in a fancy glass, but it can make you more voracious. As to how much you should have, it depends. If you're frugal, you can survive many nights without a single drink. But it's risky, and it will tempt the beast that is part of our curse. I want to know hunting? Did you say as in rifles, hounds, and funny hats? Nothing of the sort. Don't be silly. We are predators, but we are civilized. And most importantly, there is the masquerade to consider. I will get back to that. A hunt may take many forms. There are those of us who seduce kine, up to including the motions of intercourse, if you feel like it. Others prefer to feed under the guise of a mugging or assault. Some have herds of retainers for the purpose of feeding. Drinking from sleepers in their homes is not uncommon. Blood banks are an option to the few that can tolerate it, though they are frowned upon. Why would they be frowned upon? That's interesting. You will need to identify these opportunities and decide for yourself whether to pursue them. But make no mistake, you will have to hunt to survive. The concierge returns, asks for permission to intrude, which Sophie gives with a polite smile, and leads him to whisper in her ear. You note that the gallery is now almost empty. I'm being told that the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come. The smile she puts on makes you remember the way you felt with the Latina. It's not arousing, though, more like magnetic. You find it hard to argue. Even though you're still suspicious of her authority over you, her charm momentarily wins you over. Sophie leads you to a luxurious silver Rolls Royce and invites you to sit in the back. The chauffeur, a broad-shouldered, clean-shaven, middle-aged guy, starts driving immediately. Where did we leave off? I believe I started telling you a bit more about our customs. You've heard the prince refer to our traditions. The chief among them is the masquerade. As you might have gathered from us assembling at a niche gallery after closing time, our comings, goings, and doings tend to be somewhat secretive. We do not advertise our existence. We allow myths and modern fiction to morph and muddle the facts. To the vast majority of kind, we remain bedtime stories and pop culture icons. Say, is that one television show about a vampire angel still popular? You shake your head in confusion. She shrugs and continues talking, looking a little bit more dejected than before. I think I know. They're talking about the one that was like a spin-off of Buffy, weren't they? Our clandestine ways help us remain safe. Allow us to explain away the occasional trip up to the rational minds of 21st century humanity, and dictate much of our interactions with mortals. Hang on. Let me oh, whoops, that's... I don't know if I'm going to be thinking about the risk right off the bat or a flip side thing. I don't know why. I'm going to be thinking, just from the conversation, I'm going to be asking, is the driver a vampire too? So if it's such a secret, then I'm guessing your driver's a vampire too? Oh, dear Gregory here? No, not a vampire, although he is a loyal servant and as such trusted to not spill our secrets left and right. You will realize with time that such help is welcome. Gregory watches over me during the day hours. Sunburns are kind. That's why we take our rest when it rises. It's more akin to being dead than asleep, as I'm sure you've already experienced. But not everything you've heard about vampires is true. Some more folk-related threats are just legends, or occasionally a minor nuisance. Garlic, running water. Even religious symbols don't repel us unless the wielder is uniquely pure and godly. Stakes through the heart, though, that's something to avoid. They do not destroy, but they do paralyze us. Well, that's just another reason to have somebody like trusty old Gregory making sure you're safe when you drift away. We have many enemies, and they often know their advantage lies with daylight. Masquerade sounds like bullshit. Why? I don't think I'd be saying that right off the bat. Do vampires watch each other's backs? I feel like I feel like I wouldn't be thinking this based on the whole cut his head off thing from earlier, so it's good to keep human friends. Am I right in thinking that having a human friend or two is necessary then, or at least useful? In moderation, and best if they don't know your true nature. Also, I would say that subordinates are useful, but friends? I haven't had one of those for many years now. Our little sect supplies social interactions aplenty, but it doesn't really encourage friendships. Alliances of convenience, to be broken at a whim? Yes, that's more like it. Long-term solidarity does occur in the Camarilla, but we are a very politicized organization by necessity. Loyalty is to your sire, to your prince, and to the sect. Friends must remain a distant priority at best for us to maintain the masquerade at, or sorry, let me rephrase. Friends must remain a distant priority at best for us to maintain the masquerade and thrive as the years pass. With age comes authority. With it comes influence and power, if you wish to reach for them. Also, Friends must remain a TV show that people have mixed opinions on. She seems to be lost in thought and falls silent for a while. You begin to ponder all the things you've learned tonight. It still feels absolutely unreal, but as piece after piece of knowledge falls into place, the image becomes almost like an entirely logical jigsaw puzzle. Whatever you wouldn't believe on your own, you've witnessed. Many questions swarm your thoughts, but the one you keep returning to is what your place in this new reality should be. The car stops. You are in the city, in front of an old but well-renovated apartment building. We're here. Would you like to see your lodgings? My own apartment? Neat. Is it another parking lot room? How long do you expect me to stay? I am... How long do you expect me to stay here? Like, is this a temporary setup, or... It's not a prison if that's what you're asking. You can leave and find your own haven if you'd like. But unlike some basement, it is both sunproof and comfortable. Come upstairs. She leads you through a small hall with a night guard who greets Miss Langley with a good evening, and you take the stairs up to the second floor. Sophie opens the door to room 209. Inside, all the amenities you could expect from a modern apartment, and some you wouldn't have deemed necessary for just the previous night, including thick blinds on the windows. The back room has a comfortable-looking bed and a thick steel door with several sturdy-looking locks, but no windows. Well, how do you like it? It does feel, I would think it feels too. It's nice, in this very agreeable way, you know. Lacks character. Well, I would appreciate if you could hold back the need to redecorate. I am actually really fond of the decor here. That's not how I meant to say that, but okay. Tomorrow I will take you hunting and discuss the blood in more detail. I'll let you get comfortable. The keys are by the television set. I will come pick you up tomorrow night. Use the back room for rest. You can lock the doors, just in case. It stings a bit when she leaves. It's like the room suddenly becomes a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing. No regular food either. Feels strange that Kadir could be a more thoughtful host than your new sire, even if only in that respect. You briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. With nothing left to do, you lie on the couch with the TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Kojak reruns. President of the United States got himself into serious trouble again. President of the United States got himself out of trouble again. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seemed a little bit less insignificant just 2 days ago. You start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many more before you finally understand what happened to you and what you're supposed to do now? You keep coming back to the life you left behind, the people you should contact, the things you want to pick up from your apartment. You wonder when you'll have the chance for either. As you start to feel the same tiredness that made you drift into a cold sleep last night, you settle in the back room. The bed is comforting, the lack of windows less so. You leave the light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize it's the closest you'll ever come to staring at the sun on a breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades and you take the plunge into darkness again, sinking, 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 sinking. So, let me hit the save button, because... Okay. I could probably Alt F4... So, if I really needed to, I could probably Alt F4, but... I'm assuming that that was just first night or whatever. Alright. The last episode was a pretty long one, so I think this one I'm gonna make a short one. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say. I hope people enjoy. I hope people do end up enjoying this series that I'm starting to do, and yeah, laters.